morning, YouTube family. It's your girl Kim, the Princess of Transparency. I hope and pray that everybody is doing well. So come on in for some TLC. For you, that might be 10, 11 kid, but for me, my new thing is transparency, lessons, and choices. So before I get into today's topic of uncovering the mask or taking off the mask, I ask that you click the share button, and subscribe so that way you can be up to date when I make these videos. So I'm out here walking today. Today's been a challenging morning for me already, so I'm trying to walk to find some place to sit. But today's topic, uncovering the mask, trying to uncover my truth, just trying to learn to get past pleasing people and overcompensating and trying to find my no. So starting off, this last few months has been really tough on me. In February, my dad passed. In March, I had a cousin killed in Portland, Oregon. And this past week, I just lost another cousin, 3 male members of my family, which I was kind of close. Kind of close to all of them. And it's just taking its toll on me, emotionally and mentally, to the point that I was crashing, that I was suffering so bad internally, and I shut myself out from the world. And this morning, the pressure from everything just got to me so bad that I had an anxiety attack. And I haven't really had one in the last, I want to say in the last few months. Well, since my dad passed, that was the last time I had one, back in February. But now it's like everything is building back up again. All that residual anger and frustration and fear, it's just taking its head again. And I had to ask myself, why? Why am I going through this again? Why am I feeling this suffering again? Why am I feeling like I'm in this internal hell, so to speak? And I was talking to my sister this morning, and I was telling her how I feel like I'm in this phase of trying to be perfect. How can we say that we're made in God's image and God is perfect, but we're imperfect? And I was telling her how, my heart, although it's physically imperfect, it has perfect qualities like God, because it's made to love. And unfortunately, when you love, you get hurt. And I was scrolling last night through some quotes on love, and on how that you're alive if you get hurt. And it's like, that's not love, that's not life. That's not the only thing that could tell you that you got a pulse, that you're alive. If you get hurt, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. And then I realized, after I had a good conversation, I got clarity from her that my relationship with God had become pretty much indispensable. That I put God on hold, and I allowed for myself to be my give all and take all. That I wasn't allowing for Him to do what He was supposed to do and what He wants to do in my life. That's the reason why I became so overwhelmed, trying to be perfect for everybody else, but not going to the one who made me perfectly in His image, like I'm supposed to. And I'm gonna go lean against the car. I couldn't manage. The last few weeks, I've been having everybody tell me that I have to do this for this person, and do this for that person. And the whole entire time, I'm suffering internally. I'm just, taking it in, and allowing myself to get deeper and deeper into a depression, into despair, and just silencing myself and not allowing myself to feel. And getting to that point of being numb, which is not healthy at all, and mentally just suffering to the point that, my last video, the first video of uncovering the mask, I was telling how I got to a point that I almost wanted to commit suicide because the pressure of life had just become so real that I couldn't feel like I could go on. And the fear of asking for help because of judgment. People also, this too, I had to learn, there's a fine line between being or giving constructive criticism and being cynical to give somebody your opinion. And I talked about that in the last video. But mentally, I just got to a place that I was just suffering so bad, or I feel like I am suffering, because I'm trying to be the perfect mother, the perfect wife to imperfect people, that we all have our downfalls, that we all fall short of the glory. And I just really have to get to a place of, one, learning to accept God and accept His help, to not shut Him out, that this pain is not, that's all to life. We all go through tragedy at times, but it's a lesson in all of it. Sorry if my hair is looking a hot mess. We all go through things in life, but it's about how you carry the load. Jesus had to carry His cross, but He also had help in the end. So you have to be able to open yourself up to healing. But one of the biggest things I'm also learning too, and very sure going to implement, is using the word no. That you can't take on everything for everybody. That I got to a point that I would let people talk to me and, and just express how they felt. And I'm a very sensitive person. I've always been that way. I believe one of the gifts that God gave me was the spirit of discernment. And I take on some people's spirits that I just don't know how to let go, that I just end up feeling like I want to fix everybody and want everybody just to be happy, but it was putting me into that own personal hell. And now, at this stage in my life, I'm having to be very intentional about, no, I can't help you with your problem today. I can't take on your stuff. There's somebody who's greater who can take on your stuff for you. It's not me. I have my own stuff that I need to figure out how to handle. So I can't be Ayanna who fixed your life. Even she has things that she had to get worked out. And she had to implement to put boundaries and limitations on things. So I just have to really be intentional about the direction that I want to go and the energy that I allow to be around me. That I became so engulfed in wanting everybody else to be happy around me that I would just take on whatever energy that's being thrown at me. And it's not cool. When you get to a point in your life that, especially when you're a mother, you don't want to create a sense of normalcy as dysfunction. There's nothing normal about dysfunction, especially when it's becomes an everyday occurrence. And that's what I grew up knowing, that every day was just drama for no reason. And life is about being enjoyed. It's about abundance, not an abundance of drama, but abundance of love, prosperity, happiness. So you really have to be intentional on everything that you do. And it's so funny that one of the songs I keep hearing over and over again, I believe God speaks to you through repetition. I keep hearing Fred Hammond's Tell Me Where It Hurts. And mentally, my mind is hurting because I'm just so overwhelmed and bogged down by everything that I'm allowing myself to take on. And my heart hurts because when I love hard, and it's hard for me to see people suffering, but it's even harder when I'm suffering myself and I can't help anybody. When you're in an airplane, they tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help somebody else. And I'm finally getting it. It's like I've had that aha moment, finally, Some people, it takes for you to learn the lesson the hard way. And they say a hard head makes a soft behind. and just be intentional about it. That's the reason why I make these videos, and I live my life with transparency, because I don't live my life just for myself. I know the things that I've gone through and the things that I am going through are for somebody else, that there's somebody else out there who has gone through the pain, or even who could teach me. So we all overcome by the sharing of our testimonies. So that's where me being the princess of transparency comes in at. I mean, in no way am I saying that I'm perfect, but I just want to perfectly get over and get to God's glory. So in closing, know that God has a plan for your life. Know that you cannot do this alone. And know every day of your life that if God gives you a pulse, He gives you a purpose. So live on purpose. Have a blessed day.